This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. All right, praise God. Praise God. Yes, praise the Lord. Welcome, my friends. Session number 15 today of iPad for All Computing. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. I want to remind you, if you're listening to this live or possibly even on the podcast, this is still valid, that tonight, Monday, the 7th of April, those who are interested can join us for a book discussion and a discussion about the Titanic and also about the process of publishing books using Apple Pages. How to format your books, the digital and print book options. We'll talk a lot about that and that whole process of submitting to stores like Apple Books and so on, which we'll be looking at the Apple Books app on the iPad in a session a little bit later on in the course. But also we'll be talking about the sinking of the RMS Titanic. Any questions and thoughts and comments that people have about that, we discussed that because I actually wrote a book on that subject for the 100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. And so we talk all about that, try to answer your questions about some of the myths and rumors about that. Who's to blame, if anybody, all that. Could it ever happen again? And we had an incident a couple of years ago now with the Ocean Gate submersible Titan that went down to visit the Titanic. Of course, never came back. It imploded. So that was quite an interesting and chilling event. So we'll talk about all of that. And then next Monday, April the 14th, we discuss Apollo 13, the space race, the human space exploration, and God's hand in all of it, and his favor and miracles. It's incredible. We'll be discussing that. Now, both of these will take place in the evening via Zoom. Tonight's is at 7 o'clock p.m. Next week's is actually going to be at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I know your email said 7. I'm going to be sending an updated email announcing the change. We have an extra guest who's going to be coming with, well, she's not an extra. She's one we wanted the whole time. But I mean, an additional person that we have to take into consideration. And so with her schedule, it's going to work out a lot better to do it at 6 p.m. Eastern next week. But tonight's is at 7 for the Titanic. So there's a separate link for that. If you haven't received that link or you need it again, please email me, info@ttjtech.biz, and I'll get that link to you before 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be the same link for tonight and for next week on Monday. So we hope to see you there, and come with your questions, because we want to have a lot of this driven by audience questions. So please come with the things you want to know about the Titanic. All right, so it's time to get back to iPad. Now, what are we going to do today? If I look at my agenda, it's all about photos. It's about photos and camera, and even a little bit about the Photobooth app. So when we start with this today, I will be doing, as we have done so far, the screen share, the original audio. But when we get into the camera, I may not do that. I will probably use a second device so you can hear voiceover, but I will not attempt to do that while we're on Zoom, because those apps can conflict with each other. Both of them handle video. Screen share uses video. You know, it's a complicated thing. I just don't want to cause any issues there and not give you the truest experience. All right, so let's get started with the Photos app first. All right, allow me to get the screen share going and the original audio as well. All right, so we're going to be, well, let me just give it a second here because the screen share is about to begin. Okay, and now we're going to also get the original sound.
Sound.
Okay.
Button. More. Button. Picture-in-picture displayed. Maps.
And you can see that I'm on the home screen, and you can hear that. Now, the Photos app. the Photos app is extremely powerful, and it allows us to organize, view, share, um, edit photos, and it really is just a very comprehensive app. You can create albums to organize your photos even better. There are some albums that already exist, so you can organize your photos by place if the place was included when the photo was taken. You can organize your photos by people, so when you go into your Photos app, you can view the people and you can actually give them names, so it's easy to find people by name later, and you can do this with pets too. Um, and of course, for those of us who are, you know, pretty reliant on voiceover, why there's some good tools for us as well to see what's in our photos and so on. And then we can make really awesome and fun slideshows complete with music. And they actually use the memories feature to do this. And so they have some memories that they make automatically for you, based upon, again, events. Or, you know, for example, if it's one of your kids' birthday this week, they will do probably a memory of that child growing up through the years. And maybe sometimes they'll take, you know, trips to the beach or other, you know, just vacation photos and so on, and put them together in a memory, a collection of photos and videos, again, that plays as a slideshow. And they'll put music to it, and you can do the same. You can create your own, as well. And then, of course, we can print out photos, and we can do all sorts of things like that. Now, the other thing we can do with the Photos app is we can load photos and videos from a camera or from an SD card onto our iPad into the Photos app, and we can utilize that. So what we would need to do in order to do that, I'll go over that in a minute, but then you can, you know, you can bring those photos in, keep them in the Photos app and everything like that. Before we get to how that's done, I also want to just talk about one other thing that's very important. Like so many, or maybe all of the other apps that we've discussed, and most of the ones that we will discuss, Photos is completely compatible with iCloud, and that becomes really a vital part of this whole experience for us now. So iCloud Photos, what that does is that automatically keeps everything in sync across all of your devices, just like everything else. So if, for example, you take a photo on your iPhone, you don't have to manually copy that or, you know, do anything special to sync it to your iPad. It's just there. The next time you open the Photos app on your iPad, that photo that you took on your phone will also be on the iPad. And if you were to make an edit to that photo on your iPad, then it would also make the edit on the phone. You delete it on one device, it's deleted on all of them. And that's true of multiple, you know, devices, and even the Mac as well. That's included there too. And Apple TV, if you use iCloud Photos, because you can view all these photos and videos directly on your television with the Apple TV, get it on the big screen, and you don't have to copy them over or, you know, do anything special to sync them. They just show up. Now, there's also a shared library through iCloud that becomes available if you use family sharing. And we've talked a little bit about family sharing, what that is, what that does, and how it works. And remember, you can have up to 6 people in a family. And so when you use the family, what they call the shared library, that's the name of that. When you use the shared library, if you share that with your family, you can then include all of them by automatically having the photos and videos sync to that shared library. So, you know, this is really important because it's like, well, you know, in our family, yes, I take some pictures, certainly, and my kids take some pictures, but my wife is the primary picture taker of the family, right? There's not even a close second. And so, you know, it may be that she just took a whole bunch of pictures of us over Christmas, or maybe you know, the family when we're at the park in the summer, the vacation times, the beach, you know, or other things, right? And I say, boy, I would like to have those photos too, you know. Well, it used to be that you had to like manually copy them over, and then they started doing shared albums, which I'll talk about. That was a great next step, and that's still useful in a lot of cases. But now this shared library is even better, because what it can be set to do, and it's dependent upon your settings too, of course, but what you can set it to do is automatically detect when a photo is appropriate for the whole family, like if you know that it's your kids in the photo, or there's multiple people in the family in that photo or something, it's automatically going to put it into the shared library. Now, you can always make adjustments. You don't have to use that feature either. You can turn that off if too many of them are erroneously being put, in the wrong library. You can, and then you can manually move them, right? So sometimes it'll make suggestions. You'll get a notification from the Photos app saying, you have 18 photos that we think really should be, you may want to consider moving them to the shared library. You can do that as an all or as a partial, and then, as I say, you can manually move even a single photo or video from the individual library to the shared library or the other direction, right? And when you're viewing your photos and videos, you can choose how you're viewing them, what library you're seeing. Now, in addition to all of this, then you have shared albums. So you can make an album and share it with anybody that you want. And this could be family also, but you could do extended. We have a kids album, all stuff about the kids, and it's shared among the four of us in our family, but it's also shared with all the grandparents. And so they get to see, and they even get, I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, I think we gave them, write access too, so they could actually add photos to that library themselves if they take a photo on their phone or something. And in this way, you can bring a lot more people into the experience. They can share the joy of that. And now these you have to manually do. So when you take a photo that you want to put into a shared album, you just use the share option. I'll show you how to do that. But that's doable. And then finally, when you share an album, you can also make an album public. Now, the public viewers will not be able to add things, but they'll be able to view the photos and the videos. And so you can make an album public, and you'll get a link to it, and anybody with the link can view that album. Okay, so back to the other topic, which was, if I have photos and videos on a camera or an SD card, how do I get them onto my iPad? And there is, you're going to have need of, most likely, an adapter in order to do this, because the reality is a lot of the cameras are USB, and then of course SD cards. There's no built-in SD card slot on the iPad, but there are adapters. And we talked about this a little bit earlier on in the course when we talked about accessories and which iPad to buy and all that. But I want to remind you, refresh your memory about this thing in particular. So, two different adapters. If you are going to be using an SD card, and you will actually be wanting to put that SD card into the iPad directly, I mean, it's still going to be an adapter, but you know what I mean. You don't want to connect the camera. You just want to put the SD card in. There is a special adapter. It's the USB-C to SD card adapter. USB-C to SD card reader. And that adapter plugs in, as its name suggests, to your USB-C port on your iPad, and then you have a card slot on it. It's as simple as that. You don't need anything else, any other kind of reader or anything. You just put the card right into the adapter. The adapter is a card reader, basically. And so you can easily do that. And if you have an older iPad, like the 9th generation or below, for example, then they do make a Lightning to SD card reader as well. Then, if you want to use the camera itself and connect like a USB camera, the adapter that I recommend, and this is that long name one, so again, if you're writing this down, get ready, okay? You can always go back and listen once we upload this recording, but it is the USB-C Digital AV Multi-Port Adapter. Let me say that again. USB-C Digital AV, like audio, video, multi-port adapter. Now that is for all the modern iPads. Again, it connects to the USB-C port on your iPad, and you actually get 3 ports on the other end of it. Then you get a standard USB port, an HDMI port, and another USB-C port, so that you're not losing the ability to charge your iPad while these other devices are plugged in. And that's an extremely versatile device, adapter rather, because you can use that to connect microphones, MIDI keyboards, projectors, all kinds of different, thumb drives, external hard drives that don't natively have USB-C support. So, you can connect a lot of different stuff through this adapter. But this is how you would connect a camera, right? And they used to, when they first started this, way back in the days where it was like the 30-pin connectors and stuff, they actually used to call that the camera connection kit. They sold it with both the SD and the USB-C, but it was like a 30-pin dock connector or something at the time. Now, of course, it's all been modernized. They do have a Lightning one, but it doesn't have quite the same setup. You'd have to get two adapters to make up for just that one long name adapter. You would have to get the Lightning digital AV adapter, which has the HDMI and another Lightning port, and then you would have to get the what they call the Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter. And that is, again, even though it has camera adapter in the name, can be used for a lot of other things. But make sure it has the 3 symbol on it, because it's the one that is faster, and it also has an extra USB. No, not an extra USB, excuse me. An extra Lightning port on the other end of it, again, for pass-through charging if you need that. So these are the adapters from which you can choose. Most of our students, I think, are probably using, I have a feeling, the modern iPads. iPad 10th generation, or the new iPad A16. iPad Air 4th, I believe, generation and newer. And basically any iPad Pro since about 2018. And iPad Mini also, I guess, would be 6 and 7 maybe have USB-C. Anyway, the last couple. And so these are all USB-C. So you want to get that USB-C digital AV multi-port adapter, and then you can connect the camera. Now, when you connect an SD card or a camera to your iPad, it's not going to really seem like anything happens, because the iPad doesn't know what you want to do with that. It used to be that the only way to use an SD card with your iPad was with the Photos app. So it used to prompt you when it detected that that was connected. Do you want to copy these photos? But now the SD cards can be used with the Files app. With iCloud Drive, you copy something from your SD card, let's say to iCloud Drive or to your iPad directly, whatever. Lots of other options. So they let you choose. So when you connect the adapter, what you then need to do is just wait a few seconds and then open the Photos app. Now, in the Photos app, the SD card or the camera, they're going to show up. And then they're going to allow you to transfer the photos or videos or both from your SD card, from your camera, to the iPad, and choose what to do with them. So you will have those options in the Photos app. You just need to launch the Photos app once you've connected the adapter with its either SD card or camera. Now, I don't have an SD card or camera connected to my iPad, but I'm still going to launch the Photos app because we're going to take a look at it together.
TV, dock, notes, suggestion, photos. Double tap to open.
And you can hear that. There's my Photos app. Let's go on into it.
November 20th, 2024 button.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. Now, the Photos app does not have tabs. The Photos app on the iPhone even does not have tabs. This is a full screen app, which means you just scroll through the app to get what you want. I've got to say, and I might be wrong about this, I mean, I really, can't be too dogmatic about it because I've never really done the empirical research on this. But it seems to me like the Photos app has probably been redesigned more than most other apps, like more times, with different versions. And that's not a criticism, it's just the truth. They've redesigned it a lot to try to give you the best experience, and what they believe is the best experience right now is this full screen app interface. They've gotten some mixed feedback about it. Some people really like it, some people aren't so sure, but they'll always take that into consideration, and we'll see what happens in iPad OS 19, 20, whatever. But right now, this is the design. And so you don't have any tabs to think about. You just keep scrolling through the app or swiping through the app. But we do have, if we touch the upper left,
Toggle sidebar button.
we do have a sidebar. Now, we're going to leave that hidden because we really don't need it. You're going to find that in a lot of apps, you can get the same functionality without the sidebar, but the sidebar can make it easier for some people, and so you have that option. Certainly, you can double tap this to show the sidebar, but we're going to leave it hidden for right now, and you'll notice that
Toggle sidebar.
that's as far to the left as we can go, so we're going to start swiping to the right.
Photos, 7,858 items.
Now, right at the top here, we have the information about how many items are in our photos, so that's good to know and nice and very convenient there.
Search button. Select. Search
Okay,
button.
we have a search button. I gotta see because I'm curious. I think probably there's normally a, but maybe there isn't in the Photos app. I don't remember. I think maybe there's a dictate button, but of course it won't be there if we are on a Zoom call. Sometimes it just doesn't even show up when you're on a Zoom call. Other times it does and it's dimmed. But no, there is not actually a dictate button, even on my iPhone in the search. Some of the search boxes do have one. That one didn't. I wasn't sure, so I wanted to check before I said anything. So there's a search button.
Search button.
And then there's a select button.
Select button.
If you recall from some other apps we discussed, the select button provides an interface in which you can multi-select, meaning I can select 5 different photos to do things with, to move to an album or to, create a slideshow or something. So that is an important button that we're going to keep in mind. Let's go to the right.
Profile button.
Now, here's some additional information about our account and about our photos, preferences, and different things of that nature. I may not go into all that for the sake of time, but you can take a look at it when you have opportunity, and I do highly encourage it so you can get familiar with what's in there. In fact, you know what? I am going to go into it. I'm going to go into it for a minute. Thank you, Lord.
Close button.
Let's just look at a couple of these.
Matthew Volbrecht, 6,512 photos, 1,346 videos, synced with iCloud just now.
That's good information. All right, praise God. That's good information.
For your shared library, button, heading.
Yeah, look at these settings.
Button, 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 shared with you, button, button,
okay.
Button.
Let's see.
Library view options, heading, photo.on.rectangle, image, both libraries. Selected, image, check person.fill.
Now,
image, personal library.
So you can choose if you're viewing your shared library or the personal library.
Shared library.
Or both libraries.
Person, show in main view, heading, shared albums activity, switched button, on, view options, heading, autoplay motion, switched button, on, loop videos, switched button, on, view full HDR, switched button, on, automatically adjust the display to show the complete dynamic range, HDR.
All right, so I'm not going to read all of these for you, but you can take a look at them and when you have a chance. But you can see that there's some useful options under here, even just seeing when things were last synced, seeing how many items you have and how that's divided up, photos, videos, and so on. But notice also here there were options to autoplay video motion. There were options to loop the videos, which is selected by default. So if you don't want videos to loop, you just want them to play once, you can turn that off. You saw about the personal versus the shared library versus viewing both. So let's go back up to the top here with a 4-finger single tap near the top of the screen.
Close button.
And let's close this for now.
Close.
Okay.
Toggle sidebar. Photos. Search. Select. Profile. Button.
Let's go on.
Library. Button.
Okay. This is probably where most people will spend most of their time, is in the library, okay? Because that's where you can view all of your photos and videos. And we can see how we view them in a moment, but you double tap on library to get started. Now, I'm going to show you the other things that are in the main section of this app first. Let's swipe to the right.
Notification. Recent days. Button. Heading.
And I think if I set my rotor to headings,
containers, characters, screen vertical headings,
I'll be able to swipe down with one finger to go quickly heading by heading to show you what they are. Sometimes in big, long, full screen apps or even just very big, long apps like this, sometimes heading navigation doesn't work because if you go below what is visible on the screen, VoiceOver doesn't think that it's actually there. So what you have to do is keep swiping right or use like the 3-finger swipe up to further go down. Remember, that 3-finger swipe up and down doesn't change the page like turning the page. It scrolls within long pages or long documents. And so sometimes in apps like this, your heading navigation won't seem to work. You just 3-finger swipe up or just keep swiping 1 finger to the right. But I sort of remember that the last I did this, it does work in the Photos app. So let's try it. Because if I swipe right now, we're in the heading called Recent Days, remember?
Recent Days. Button.
So
heading.
if I go to the right,
December 26th, December 8th, December 7th, November 20, November.
these are
recent days.
What they are.
December 26th, 2024 button.
I can double tap on that and I can see the photos or videos from just that day. But I want to show you the other headings. So
Recent days button.
already set the heading,
Heading.
swipe down.
People and pets button.
Okay,
Heading.
this is where once you've given names to people and so forth, they will show up here.
Pin collections button. People and pets button. Heading. Modify. People and pin collections.
Looks like I would have to double tap that to even see it.
People and pets button. Heading.
So let's do that.
Groups button. Edit button. People and pets. Show sidebar. Photos. Back button.
And notice at the very top left, there's a back button now, so we can go back to the main part of the app, and then there's the show sidebar.
Show sidebar.
Now,
button.
you can edit this.
People and pets. Heading. Edit button.
But now let's go and see.
Groups button. Create button.
You can create a new one.
Matthew and Carson. Matthew and baby Carson. Matthew and one other. But Matthew, Jessica, and baby Carson. Matthew and Jessica. People and pets. Heading. Swords button. Larissa. Baby Carson. Matthew. Jessica. Button.
These are
Carson. Button.
Kylie should be here too. I just don't know why.
Button. Baby Kylie. Chika.
There's
baby Kylie.
There's Kylie,
button.
but as a baby, and here's Chica.
Chika. Button.
And Chika. Right, okay.
Button.
And then these ones that
Seat.
the ones that it's not naming,
Button.
you'd have to go in.
Adult. Tree.
See, I'd have to find out who that is, and then we could let. So if I tap on that,
Back, but search, but select, more, button, 12 photos back.
See?
But,
there's photos in
12
here.
sword, 12 photos back.
Now,
Next,
what we'd have to
12
do
photos,
is figure out who's in that.
12 photos, 12 sword, selected, photos, movie, summary, button, summary, 12 photos.
Okay, we have to see.
Actions available, expand library, activate.
So you can
default,
expand that
12
with a
photos.
rotor.
Expand library.
And
12 sword and fill heading selected photos button.
So we don't know who
Two.
who these are,
Movie
because
button. 2 of 2.
somebody'd have to tell you.
Summary
So
button.
if you
Movie button. 2
let's
of 2.
get summary ones.
Summary 12 but all 15. Dismiss context menu button.
Okay, we hit all.
All 15 but 15 photos. Fifth sort and filter selected photo move grid button.
Okay, now we have
Back but search.
now you have a
button.
grid
button.
button.
Sub selected. Dismiss context selected.
And again,
all
you could
50,
choose
summary.
you could choose
summary,
summary or
dismiss context
all.
menu.
So if I go
Back, search, select more, curtain, photo, date,
See?
date, December 25th, 2010, time, 8:42 a.m. Actions available, more content available, adult, brick, child, table, tableware, wood processed. Photo, date, December 25th, 2008, time, 12:23 a.m. Actions available, more content available, adult, baby, cabinet, clothing, wood processed.
yeah, voiceover tells you what's in these photos, but I gotta wonder if that's like my mom or my dad or something, because it's picking Christmas photos.
Photo, date, March 28th,
And
2008,
that'd be
time, 6:37 a.m. Actions available, more content available, adult, baked goods, child, clothing, high chair, plate, seat recline.
They keep mentioning an adult, and these are all like either Christmas or birthday. I gotta wonder. I'll have to ask somebody. But now, if you double tap on
Back.
this photo,
March 26:30. Personal library. More. But photo chooser. Share. Favored. Info. But edit. But delete. Photo. Date. Photo. Date. March 28th. Edit.
and if we do
button,
info,
button, info.
I'll show you this more in a moment. I took a little side trip here because of the people.
Edit. Delete. Info. Close. Add a caption. Creation date Friday. Adjust. Selected. iCloud status up. File name camera file for flash fired. Lens description. Resolution. Dimensions to file size.
A lot of
ISO.
information.
Focal length.
But
exposure by aperture f2.
me see
Focal length
something.
7. App shut location included in March 20.
Okay.
Location. Add a location.
You can add a
button.
location.
Show in all photos. Baby Carson. Button.
Here's the people.
Unnamed person.
See,
button.
there's an unnamed person. See that?
Unnamed
So
person.
if I know who that is,
Baby Carson.
Let me just-
Button.
okay, it's not going to describe the.
Unnamed person. Button.
But now, like if I
all photos button.
See, I can see all photos with that person if I double tap on that.
Make key photo button. Edit name and photos button.
I can edit the name. So there's where you would edit the name if you want to assign a name to that person. Once I find out who that is.
Don't feature this person, but dismiss context menu.
All right, we'll dismiss. And we're going to go back.
Unnamed person. Baby cars. Photo chooser. Photo share. Favorite info. Edit. Delete.
Oh, I got to
info.
close.
Close button.
Then I
Video.
have to.
Photos. Multitask. Photo. Delete. Edit. Info. Favorite. Share. Photo. More. Personal. 6. Marched. Back. Button.
Go back.
Back. Button. Search.
And
Back.
go back.
Back.
Okay. Now we should be.
Video. Close. Button. And adult.
All
Jewel. Video. Close. Participants. Photo. Date. Photo. Date. Photo. Explore image. Photo. Back. Search. Select. More. Name this person. Name this person. Button.
See, in that main section, there was a name this person
Photo.
button.
Name this person. Button.
We need to do that.
Back.
I got to find out who that is.
Back.
Okay.
Video.
Now I'm back
Photos. Larissa.
in
Sword.
the main list of people. And I'm going to go back again.
Zoom.
Because-
Video. Baby Carson. Larissa. Matthew and Math. Edit.
Those are the groups. You can even create a group.
People and pets.
All right.
Show side.
Go back.
Photos. Back button.
And don't be
Photo.
confused when you hear the word video. That's coming from the Zoom screen recording. But it, now, so we took a little side trip there, and I got to some things that I wasn't really going to show you just yet. I mean, we will in a few minutes, literally. But you kind of saw some of the options when you double tap on a photo. We'll take a look at them more extensively and more in depth. But what I wanted to do is show you how you would name a person if, in fact, you know who that is. Now, I'm going to show you another little trick here in a few minutes as well. But okay, let's do this now. Let's continue our journey with the Photos app. We were on the headings.
Recent days. Button. People and pets. Button.
And then
Heading.
what's the next one?
Pin collections. Button.
So you can
Heading.
pin various collections of photos so that they're always here.
Memories. Button.
Here's
Heading.
our memories, and then
Albums. Button.
Albums.
Featured photos.
Featured
Button.
photos.
Heading. Trips. Button. Shared albums. Button.
look at all
Heading.
these choices. Trips, shared albums.
Media types. Button.
And if you want to
Heading.
view a specific type of media, like go to the right here.
Videos. 1,346 items. Button. Time lapse. 16 items. Button. Selfies. 336 items. Slow-mo. Live photos. Cinematic. Portrait. Bursts. Panoramas. Screenshots. Utilities.
Okay, we'll talk about what some of those are in a little bit as well when we talk about the camera. But you can see that it is possible to view by media types from the main section of from the main Photos app. You just double tap on whichever one of those you want. So if I only want to view the videos on my iPad, I can, in my library, I can go down to media types and pick videos. That way I can just see the videos. All right, now we're in a section called Utilities.
Utilities. Button. Heading.
And that is stuff like
Favorites. 16 items. Button. Hidden album. Button. Recently deleted album. Button. Duplicates. 443 items.
Okay, so that this helps you to work with your photo library and so on.
Receipts. 2 items. Button.
Receipts.
Wallpaper suggestions. Heading.
Okay,
Heading.
I think
Not.
that's it. All right, so we're going to go back up now and open up the library, which is, as I said, where I think people probably will spend most of their time in this app.
Memory pin collection. Heading not
Okay,
found.
we're up at the uppermost heading now. I'll just swipe to the left,
Library. Button.
and there it is. And let's double tap on that.
Adult. Screenshot. Photo.
Okay.
Date. Photo.
Now, what you will find if you touch the... Let's actually start from the bottom. I'll do a 4-finger single tap near the bottom right,
Close. Button. Close.
because that's
button.
important. There's a close button there. If you're done with the library and you want to go back to the main part of the Photos app, that close button is at the bottom right. If we swipe directly to the left,
Date range. All photos. Adjustable.
so you see,
Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
remember how I told you I'd show you how to change what you're viewing? That's what you do. You change the date range so we can see, for example, let's swipe up or down on that.
Months. Years. Months. All photos.
Okay,
All
we're going to leave it
photos.
on all photos. Now swipe to the left.
Sort and filter. Button.
So let's look at that option, sort and filter.
Sort by recently added. Button. Selected. Sort by date captured. Button. Selected. Both libraries. Button. Personal library. button, shared library, button, filter, button, view options, button, dismiss context menu,
Okay,
button,
lots of options there, and
toggle,
two that I want to talk about in particular. If you noticed whenever I was looking through those options, the sort options, you could sort by recently added or sort by date captured. Date captured was the one selected. Now, how would this be? What would be the difference, right? You might be sitting there wondering, well, isn't that going to be the same thing? Well, not necessarily. Let's suppose that somebody sends you a photo that they took 3 months ago. If you are sorted by the date captured, where do you think that photo is going to show up in your library? And I don't know about you, but I've actually had that happen. Like someone will send me a photo that I need to use for something, and I'll expect that it's going to be the most recent one. And as it turns out, it isn't. And then I have to do some digging, and I sometimes even have to ask for cited help because I may not know unless I know exactly what VoiceOver means by its description, and I can say, oh yeah, that's it. So sometimes you really have to search for things, and there's good ways to do that. But if you change that to sort by recently added, then it's going to always put it in there based on when it was added to the library, regardless of the date that it was captured. Now, oftentimes these will be the same, right? Especially if most of your photos come from what you take on your own iPhone camera or iPad camera. But just keep in mind, they may not be the same. So that's up to you. The other option I want to talk about there is, again, we got to see the library choices. Both libraries, personal library and shared library. The both libraries option was selected, and you can choose. So right now I'm seeing all my photos and videos from both libraries. If I only want to see the personal library, only the shared library, whatever the case may be, I can do that from that button there. That's sort and filter.
toggle sidebar,
Go back
button,
to the bottom.
close, date range, alt, sort and filter, button,
And now if we swipe to the left,
vertical scroll bar, 87 pages, 100%
we have
adjustable.
a vertical scroll bar because that's how we can quickly get to different places in our Photos app by swiping up or down on that with one finger, then just sort of touching to the left of it. That's going to take you to different places in your Photos app. And finally, if I touch the top, 4-finger single tap near the top.
Photo, toggle sidebar, library, 7000, search, button, select, button.
There's your select and your search buttons again, so they may be useful inside the library as well. Search for something, do a multi-select. All right, let's go back to the bottom.
Close, vertical scroll bar.
To the left of that now, we're going to actually be getting into the, not sure what she's barking at there. We're just to the left of the vertical scroll bar, we're going to be actually getting into the photos and videos now that are in our library, starting with the most recent. So the most recent is going to be at the bottom here.
Photo, date, April 5th, time, 11:59 a.m. More content available. Diagram, screenshot, ID Mobile LTE.
Okay, that was a screenshot that I
Vertical,
perhaps accidentally took. Let's
photo,
keep going to the left.
photo, date, April 4th, time, 11:07 p.m. More content available. Screenshot, live photo, date, March 23rd, time, 2:54 a.m. More content available. Wood processed, 1/29/25. Manton cooking greater than Red Bull Hit Squadra. Beef stew. By Lena Abraham UPDATEDI December 9th, 2024 to Broadwin beef and any accumulated O approved by the DELIB.
Okay, what is that reading? It's reading a recipe that I had taken a picture of, and I used that recipe and imported it into my recipe app, and it worked beautifully. So that is,
live photo,
see what else we
date,
can find.
March 23rd,
I think that's
time,
another one of the
2:49
same recipe.
a.m. More content available. Clothing, people.
Maybe not. Open it
Video.
up. Okay.
Video.
Now,
close button.
There's the close
Live
button.
Photo, date, delete, edit, info button.
I'm swiping left.
Favored, share button. Photo chooser, more button.
Okay.
Personal library, March 23rd to Lower Paxton Township.
It has a location,
Live photo button. Pop up button.
and if you do
Double
that,
tap to activate the picker.
it's going to let you choose
Live button. Loop, bounce. Long exposure.
some different options because it's a live photo.
Live off button. Dismiss context menu.
Now, what's a live photo?
Back.
A live photo is where you get a couple of seconds of video in your photo. And that's very useful because I can go over here.
Live photo, lower pack, mark, first, more, photo, choose, share, favored, info, edit, button, delete, live photo, date, March 23rd, time, 2:49 a.m. Actions available, more content available, clothing, people.
And what I can do is I can double tap and hold on this. There was a little sound. I don't know if you could hear that.
Delete, live photo.
It's very, very brief. There wasn't much talking right there, but you could hear. If we find another one, I'll try it again.
Live photo, delete, edit, info, favored, share, photo, choose, more, personal, March 20, lower Paxton, live photo, back, button. Toggle sidebar, live photo, date, December 31st, 2024, time, 6:25
Just
p.m.
pick another one.
More content available, container, food, bubble, calories.
Okay, we took a picture of something there.
Live photo, date, December 31st, 2024, time, 6:25 p.m. More content available, carton, food, toy, Santaverse, Kellogg's. Photo, date, December 26th, 2024, time, 11:31 p.m. More content available, people.
Now, I want to show you something that you can do, and I'm going to do that. There's two different ways you can do this. If you have Apple Intelligence enabled and a device that supports it, of course, you can ask SIRI. But I'm going to even show you on a device, even without Apple Intelligence, what we can do here.
Video. Photo, delete, edit, button, info, favored, share, button.
We're going to share this photo.
One photo selected. Freeform, Zoom, Amber, Amazon, ChatGPT, button, ChatGPT. ChatGPT menu, button. ChatGPT new temporary, create an image, create a chart, attach image, button. New message, text attach, new message, text field, is edited, attach, search, dim, deep research, dictation, send, button, undo.
Okay, so I think I'll do.
Attach, new message, attach image, button.
There's an image attached.
Actions available.
That should be the image we just shared.
Attach, button, search, new message, text field.
Let's say, what's in this photo?
Cap H. Cap W H A T cap closing apostrophe S I N T H I at space P H O T O question mark photo attach new message attach search deep dictate send button menu button. This photo shows a close-up of a person's face, specifically the eyes and part of the nose and forehead. The person is looking upward, and a finger is gently pulling down the skin below the right eye, on the left side of the image. The lighting is soft, and the background includes a beige couch and a dark green pillow. Let me know if you want something specific pointed out or analyzed.
Okay, isn't that awesome? So with the ChatGPT app, you can share the photo directly to ChatGPT and then type what's in this photo, and it will automatically generate a response like that, and VoiceOver can read it to you. Now, if you have Apple Intelligence, you can also use SIRI to do that same thing. I can't show you that anyway, even if I had that on this iPad, which I don't, but you can do it without it, just using the ChatGPT app as we just demonstrated. I will use my iPhone here, though, to show you how to do that with you-know-who. So, because it works just as well in both situations. So let's go to photos on my iPhone, and let's go to the library and pick a photo.
Live photo, date, February 8th, time, 6:03 p.m. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate. More content available. A person holding a piece of chocolate in their hand. Crisp.
And you notice that my iPhone is reading a little bit more complete sentences, whereas the iPad is just naming the objects. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure why that's happening. I think maybe I just need to disable and re-enable the image recognition on my iPad or something, or maybe even just toggle voice. I don't know, but it really depends. Sometimes I've seen it do both. Really isn't a concern, but let me open this photo on my phone, and I'll try that live photo thing too, because I didn't try this particular. The photos are the same on both devices. I just didn't, I didn't do this one. But let's see if the live photo has more noise here.
Live photo, date, February.
Let's double tap and hold on it.
Picture, button.
Tonight.
Yeah, that one definitely had more sound. I still don't. That could help you to identify the photo. I don't know what that was. Even listening to that. Let me see again. Let me just do that again.
Tonight.
Oh, I remember that conversation, but I don't know what the photo is. So, let me now do using SIRI this time because I have the Chat GPT integration turned on with Apple Intelligence on my phone. So I say hold down the side button and say, "What's in this photo?"
Do you want me to send this photo to ChatGPT?
Yes, please.
This photo shows a hand holding a chocolate lollipop shaped like an Easter bunny. The bunny has a red candy nose, white chocolate details on the ears and feet, and is still wrapped in clear plastic packaging. The background includes a carpeted floor, a piece of furniture, and some toys scattered around. That was from ChatGPT. Check important info for mistakes.
And I actually do remember.
Photos. Home.
Let's see what the date of
February
that.
8th,
February 8th.
6:03 p.m.
What happened was my daughter, we had all gotten chocolate lollipops from this local candy store for Christmas, and she was wanting to eat the rest of hers, or maybe hadn't even eaten it yet and was going to eat it now, but she wanted to take a picture of it before she ate it. So that's what that was. Now, I'm curious what my iPad, which seems to only be reading objects and not sentences, what it will say. So I'm going to try
Menu. ChatGPT 4.
4-finger swipe to the right, back to the Photos app.
Video. Close. But photo. Photo. Delete. Edit. In. Photo. More. December. Lower.
Close this
Back.
one.
Back.
Oh,
Button.
back. Let's see if I can find that same photo.
Video. Date. February 9th. Top video. Live photo. Date. February 5th. Live photo. Date. February 8th. Time. 6:03 p.m. Food. Crisp.
All right.
Actions available.
Yeah.
More content available. Food. Crisp.
So I'll have to check my image recognition and see if it needs to be re-downloaded, because it downloads assets for this, and I don't know that I want to mess with it during the Zoom session. I'm tempted to just try and let you see what that whole experience might be like, but it used to be back in iOS 17 that you would have to like restart your device after you did it, and so we wouldn't be able to do that. So I can't guarantee what the results of this are going to be, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. Let's
Live photo.
just do it for fun, right? Because,
Settings.
what I like you to see is the process. I can't teach you every step of every app, but I sure can show you the process. Settings.
Set cellular data. App cap home cert Siri notif sound focus screen touch ID.
I passed it.
Multi tap home display control camera Apple Pencil.
I forgot what I was looking for.
Accessibility.
Or where it was. Accessibility.
Voiceover. On. Voiceover speak brand voiceover recognition.
Voiceover recognition.
Using on device and live recognition button. Your iPad image descriptions on button.
Let's go in here.
Image disk 32.9 megabyte required. Your iPad will speak sensitive content.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has it downloaded.
32.9 megabyte required. Image descriptions. Switch button on. Video. Picture. Apply to apps. It indicates if place selected. Sensitive. Your iPad. 32. Image descriptions. Switch button off.
All right.
32.9 megabyte required.
Let's just turn it back on and see what happens.
Image description on. Downloading. Image descriptions. Switch button on. 43.7 megabyte used.
Okay, that's more like what I would expect. Now, I'll caution you, as I said, it used to be in 17. That wasn't enough. Like, you had to restart the device. It was a whole sequence of things. So I can't promise, but I'm cautiously optimistic. So let's go back.
Voiceover recognition. Back button. Voiceover. Apps. Button. Voiceover. Accessibility. Back. Voiceover. On. Button. Apps. But accessibility. Heading.
And we're done. So go.
Photos. Live photo. Date. December 3rd. Live photo.
I'll try the same one.
Date. January. Live photo. Date. January. Video. Live photo. Date. January 11th. Live photo. Date. February 5th.
Yeah.
Live photo. Date. February 8th. Time. 6:03 p.m. More content available. A person holding a piece of chocolate in their hand.
Okay. Praise God. Praise the Lord. There it was. He helped us with that. And that's a troubleshooting experience for you. And we're going to leave that in the podcast. We're going to show that to everybody because it worked. No, I'm kidding. We would have either way. But you can see what, sometimes you just do these little things, right? It's technology. But praise God, it's working. He fixed it. So now let's go back into this and continue to use this photo as an example for now, because I want to go ahead and show you some of the other things when you open this up. Praise God, he fixed it. That's so
Video.
awesome. Okay.
Double tap
Now,
to toggle end of Monday 2:50.
so whoops.
Photos.
Because the screen recording thing is up there at the top, it's easier to start at the bottom. Normally I would start at the top, but let's do a 4-finger tap near the bottom.
Live photo.
And that's where the live photo is there.
Live photo.
And
Date,
again,
February.
as we did on the phone, you can...
Tonight.
All we do is double tap and hold where it says live photo, and it plays those couple of seconds. If you don't have a live photo, you're not going to be able to do that, but you turn that on and off in your camera. And by the way, if you send a live photo to someone whose device does not support it, it will still send, but just as a standard photo. Okay. All right. Swipe to the left.
Delete button.
We don't want to delete it.
Edit button.
Edit. And I'm not going to take the time to go through all of these options because there's just so many. But there's things like red eye removal, cropping, rotating, adding effects, adding filters, all kinds of stuff you can do under edit. Let's just show you a few things.
Cancel. Cancel. Show original. Dimmed. Undo. Redo. Adjust. Heading. Markup. Button.
Markup is important if you want to add a voiceover label. That's actually the way to do it, is under markup, not using the voiceover label command, because that is a little bit less reliable in these situations. You want it, this is the way the Apple user guides tell us to label for accessibility. If you want is to use markup, and then you have to choose one of the options. You're not going to actually draw on it. You're going to choose, oh, what was it? Let me see if I can remember by listening to the choices.
Markup. Markup turns off live photo.
Oh.
Live cancel.
Okay,
button.
then no, I don't want to test it in that one. I apologize.
Okay. Cancel.
We'll do it in another one maybe.
Enhancements.
But it's there. It's under markup. It's one of the options. I think it either says add text or add label, something like that. But anyhow, that's how you do voiceover labels for photos.
Done.
If you
Dim
want to.
button.
But you can see that we really don't even need to if we take the time to listen to the image descriptions, especially once they're working properly. And we also can do the take it over to ChatGPT. I can't stress enough how useful that is. And you can do that with a free account or even with no account, but I recommend using an account with ChatGPT because then it will, keep your history of what you've asked it and stuff. And so, you can do that even without Apple Intelligence, right? I'm not knocking Apple Intelligence. It's great. Praise God. Lots of great, cool features, but you don't need it in order to do that. You can literally do the share. You have to have the app installed, right? And then say share and then say ChatGPT. Now, the difference would be with using it with Apple Intelligence and SIRI, you technically don't need the app installed, the ChatGPT app installed to do that. But I would still recommend it because, again, that's going to then save that request if you want to see it again later. All right, so edit, there's a lot. So I want to show you what else is in edit.
Live intent enhancements. Auto off. Live photo. Image. Done.
All right.
Dim. Zoom.
So
more. Markup.
We have
more.
more.
Button.
See what's under more.
Copy edits. Paste edits. Save as duplicate. Appearance. Button. Extensions. Button. Undo. Redo. Dismiss.
And
context
extensions
menu.
are like,
Button.
if you have another app like Photomator, Pixelmator, Affinity Photo that you want to use that's a high-end photo editor, even Photoshop, but a lot of those other ones I mentioned are really good too. You can just use those. So,
Can't show. Redo. Adjust. Heading. Markup. More. Zoom. Button. Done. Live photo. Image. Enhancements. Auto. Off. Adjustable.
and that's a picker. If you swipe up and down with one finger,
Light. Exposure. 0%. Brilliance. 0%. Highlights. 0. Shadows. Contrast. Brightness. Black point.
and lots of others, right?
Auto. Off.
Then you'd have to swipe
Intensity slider for auto.
to the right. So you pick
Enhancements.
the enhancement first with that picker, and then you swipe to the right to change the
Intensity slider for auto.
percentage or the value of it. And then we have other things here.
Live photo. Selected. adjust, filters, button.
You can add filters.
Crop and rotate, button, crop and
Okay,
rotate.
so again, whether it's a live photo or other things, you're going to get different options too. I'm going to just cancel that.
Zoom, video, photo, black, done, zoom, more.
Done is
done, dim,
not available
button.
because we didn't make any edits.
Zoom, mark, adjust, read, undo, show, cancel,
But
button,
cancel
back,
is.
button.
So that's edit a little bit. I mean, it's really, really powerful, and I would recommend that you play with it for the options that you think are going to be relevant. There is a new AI, Apple Intelligence option called Cleanup. The last time I checked it, it's not very voiceover accessible yet because it literally requires you to like find things in the photo and then tap and like drag them out of the photo, like things you don't want. So it's very, very visual, you know, but it would be useful for somebody with some sight or some sighted assistance if you needed to, you know, let's say you took a picture of your dog, but oh, there happened to be, you know, something on the, you forgot that there was you know, some clutter, the mail, an envelope was sitting there or something, you know, and you don't want that in the photo, so you can clean that up. But the accessible ones, you can remove red eye, crop, rotate, add filters, add effects, you know, enhance those things. And again, not all of them were available because it was a live photo, but there's a lot of different choices. All right, so we're out of edit, but we're still inside this photo of the chocolate lollipop.
Back, live photo, home, February 8th, home.
Notice it says it was taken at home.
February 8th, personal library. Button,
Notice it says that
button.
it's this one's in the
Double
personal.
tap to activate the picker.
So if I want to move this, I can actually do that. You headed to tennis? All right, love you. I'll see you tonight. Oh, okay, well, let me know. My son there heading off to his tennis practice, but maybe not because it's been somewhat rainy. He's checking. And so we have here
personal library.
This
button.
button that says personal library. If you do this, if you tap on this,
move to shared library.
See,
button.
so I can move it
Dismiss context
or
menu.
dismiss. Okay. Now,
back, personal, more, button, pop-up button.
Did we look at more? I think we did we?
Copy, duplicate, hide, play as slideshow.
No, we
button.
didn't look at this.
Save as video, add to album, move to shared library, adjust date and time, adjust location, dismiss context
Lots
menu.
of cool choices there.
Back.
Again, I don't expect you to remember all of this, right? That's the balance we always talk about of being so detailed that you're just overwhelmed or not showing you enough that you don't, you know, so I'm trying to help you to appreciate what all can be done in this app, but you're not going to remember all of it probably because there's a lot there, and that's fine. I want you to play with it on your own time, but show you that it's there.
February,
all right.
More, photo chooser, share.
That photo chooser is just another way to scroll through your photos.
Share button.
And of course, we looked at share briefly, but share is where you can share this with other people by messages or mail. What? And you can open it in other apps. Let's go to the share menu or share sheet and look at this a little more.
One photo selected.
All right, I recommend you kind of swipe to the right.
Close button.
Now,
location close.
Let's look at this.
Button.
Swipe to the right again.
Location services. Location is included.
And again.
Options button.
All right, that's really important. Maybe you're sharing this to Facebook or somewhere where you don't want everybody to know the location. So it told you location is included, but then you heard options. Listen again.
Location services. Location is included.
And swipe right.
Options button.
If you tap on that options button, you will have the choice to remove the location from this photo. And there are other options in there as well, like for sharing formats and stuff like that. But that's a really useful thing. You hit the share button, start swiping to the right, and you'll see that options button. And that's how you can choose whether to include the location in a particular photo or not. All right, let's keep going here in our share sheet.
Photo selection list. Live photo.
So we can select other photos to share. I'm going to sort of tap lower down on the screen now to make sure I'm in the share sheet.
Live photo. Mom.
I'll go to the left.
Cliff. Jessica. Kylie. Carson. Photo selection.
Okay.
Live photo.
So what?
Date, live video,
what this
Cliff,
is?
Kylie Volb. Carson Volbrecht.
These are
messages.
people. These are sharing suggestions. Sometimes it'll pick based upon who actually appears in the photo, if it can tell. Sometimes it's just people you shared with recently or shared other photos with. But you see my kids are here.
Carson, Kylie, Jessica, Cliff,
my wife,
messages, Mom, Suzanne,
my
Jeffrey,
some
Calhoun,
other family,
messages,
Trainer Cliff,
Vicky Ireland, Thomas Naglet, Paul Schutz, Gail and Jeannie Klump, airdrop, messages.
Then you get to these choices where You can airdrop. Remember that airdrop is close proximity sharing, peer-to-peer in the same room and so forth. And then you can share by messages,
Messages.
mail,
Button.
and a lot of other options.
Mail. Chat GPT.
There's
button.
that Chat GPT option. That worked out really well.
Mail.
Praise God.
Chat. Notes.
Notes.
Button.
Bring your photo into a note.
Reminders.
Reminders.
Freeform. Zoom. Amber. Amazon.
Amber is the cooking app. That would be a way to have it add a recipe. That's what we did with that beef stew recipe, was bring it into the... That's not exactly the way we did it, but you can, you know...
Procreate. Button.
Procreate is a powerful app for designing. I think, you know, you would draw, paint, sketch.
Books. Button.
The Apple Books app, I'm not sure why we would necessarily bring this photo into Apple Books, but if it was, maybe if it were an image-based PDF, that would make sense.
More. Button.
And then going down,
Copy photo. Button.
going to the right, but you know what I mean, going down the list.
Add
So
to
we
copy photo. Add to shared album. Button.
add it to a shared album.
Add to album. AirPlay. Button. Use as wallpaper. Button. Copy iCloud link. Export unmodified original. Assign to contact. Print. Button. Save to files. Find products on Amazon.
Okay, so we're not going to go through all of these, but I'll just highlight a couple. You see that you can print out the photo, use it as your wallpaper. You can send an iCloud link to this for a public photo, you know, that you can show anyone. So there's just a lot of stuff in this share menu, and I'm going to dismiss the share menu.
Options. Button.
Actually,
Close.
just
Button.
hit close. Praise the Lord. All right. So you saw share, edit.
More. Pause. Unmute. Current position. Photo chooser. Share. Button. Favored. Switch.
You can
button.
favorite it.
Off. Info. Button.
And we showed you a little bit of the info. I want to do that on another photo where we can get some information. I don't think there'll be information about this chocolate lollipop because it was made from a local candy store. We're going to see, though.
Edit. Info.
Just for
button.
fun.
Info. Button. Edit. Delete.
Now,
video. Info.
There's
Close.
something else I want to show you in the info panel
Dismiss.
here.
Add a caption. Text.
You
field.
can also add a caption. That's another way to identify your photos. But just remember, if you add a caption, everybody's going to see it. If you do the text markup, I think that's only the one. There's one that you're supposed to do. I'll have to look that up if someone needs it. But one of those markups is only for voiceover, kind of the accessibility label. And this is a visible caption, you know, that everyone will see.
Creation date Sunday. Adjust. Selected. iCloud status of file name IMG on camera description. File for video. Lens description main camera resolution 10 dimensions. File size for Dolby Vision. Frames per duration 0. 12. Map with nearby photos. Button.
I think I got onto a different one, actually.
Location. Earl Stamp. Adjust. Adjust.
Okay.
Button.
So we're going to turn that
video.
info
Delete.
off.
Edit. Info.
And we're going to go back.
Current unmute pause. More. Personal. February. Earl Stamp. HDTV. Back.
I'd like to find one that
Toggle
maybe
sidebar.
has
Heading not found.
our dog in it, because you can actually do a lookup.
Live photo. Date. December 8th. 2024. Time 7:02 p.m. More content
love you.
available. A dog wearing a harness and standing on a staircase.
Okay, so there's one. Praise God. Now, I'm going to wait for our dog actually to stop barking in a moment, and then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to see if it's got a really good view of the dog. You can actually look up her dog breed right from here, and there are other things you can do that with besides dogs. You can do it with food items. If it can identify the food, you can do lookup, and that will give you like recipes for that dish and so forth. You can do it with laundry detergent symbols. So with laundry, not laundry detergent, but laundry symbols when you're, you know, washing clothes. If you have a symbol that says it's machine wash cold or whatever, you know, you can have it identify what those symbols are if you weren't sure. So you could look that up. You can also look up dashboard symbols on a car or a vehicle. But let's try it with the dog, because I'm pretty confident it'll have it for that. We have to do info.
Photos. Photo. Delete. Edit. Info.
Now let's see what we find.
Edit. Info. Close. Add. Creation date. Adjust. Select. File name. Camera. File for. Live photo. Lens description. Resolution. Dimensions for. File size. ISO 4000. Focal length. Exposure. Aperture. Shutter speed. Map with nearby photos. Location. Earl Stamp. Adjust. Location.
Interesting.
Live photo.
I don't
Delete.
see it.
Edit. Info. Favored. Share. Photo chooser. Photo 7. Photo.
This was one
info.
dog, right?
Button. Edit, but delete, but live photo, date, December 8th, 2024, time, 7:02 p.m. Actions available, more content available, a dog wearing a harness, show details, explore image, activate, show details,
So show details.
explore, show, info, live photo, date, December 8th, 2024, time, 7:02 p.m. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate. More content available. Close, but add a caption. Creation date, sun, adjust, select, file name, camera, disk, file format, live, lens description, live photo,
Yeah, it didn't
image,
seem
lens
to
description,
have
live photo, image, a gray
the...
logo on a white background. Lens, resolution, dimensions, file size, ISO, app, map, locate, adjust,
It didn't
adjust,
seem to have the
info,
lookup for that
delete,
one, and that
button,
may
info,
be
heading, close,
that,
button, video, photos, delete, live
it may just
photo,
be that it's
date,
not a good enough
December
view
8th,
of her.
2024,
I know it says a
time,
dog,
7:02
but
p.m.
if it,
Swipe up or down
you know,
to
if it
select a
can't really
custom action,
tell,
then double tap to activate. More content available. A dog wearing a harness and standing on a
I
staircase.
don't know.
Zoom.
Well,
Live edit in
maybe we'll
shared
try
photo,
one
more
more.
Earl, back,
We won't waste,
button,
not waste, but
toggle
we won't spend too
sidebar,
much
live
time on it.
photo,
Let me just
date, December 31st,
see if I can find
video,
one other one. Maybe a
photo,
one that's
date, December 26th,
not a live photo.
2024, time, 11:30 p.m. More content available. Possible adult content. A photo containing an adult.
I don't even know what that is. I'd have to see.
Video. Photo. Date. December 26th, 2024. Time. 11:28
I don't know who
p.m.
some of these are.
More
Again,
content available. Possible live photo.
let's
Date.
try.
December 21st,
Is this the one we
2024.
just had, I
Time.
think?
6:20 a.m. More content available. A screenshot of a cell phone photo. Date. December 19th, 2024.
I would have thought
Time.
we had another. I thought,
6:49
I just don't
p.m.
remember,
More
the
content
dates of some of
available.
these
A screenshot of
where we might have
photo. Date. December 10th,
had the dog in the photo or
2024.
something. There
Time.
might be a...
2 a.m. More content available. A dog holding a slice of pizza in its mouth and standing at a kitchen counter.
Okay, that was a photo made from Image Playground. That's not even a real dog.
Live
And
photo.
so
Date. December 8th,
that's a little different.
2024.
Let's see if there's
Time.
anything else
6:13 p.m.
we can show you here.
More content available. A group of wooden sticks on a stone surface. Photo. Date. December 8th, 2024. Time. 6:10 p.m. More content available. A group of sticks and live video.
For a few more here.
Photo. Date. November 28th, 2024. Time. 3:59 p.m. More content available. A person holding a bow and arrow and standing in a room. Photo. Date. November 28th, 2024. Time. 3:59 p.m. More content available. A child standing in front of a fireplace in a room.
And I don't think there's much we can get from, like, I don't think you can do a lookup on that. I remember that photo.
Photo. Date. November 28th. Photo. Date. November 28th. Photo. Date. November 28th. Photo. Date. November 28th.
Just look a couple more.
Photo.
Let's try this.
Date. November 28th.
Wow, we had a lot from that day.
Date. November 28th.
Let's see how far that day goes.
November 28th, 2024. Time. 9:30 a.m.
I don't know what...
More content available. A television screen displaying an image of a person wearing an orange costume. And DNKE shown.
My daughter was taking pictures of the Macy's. I bet that was the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Live close. Sort by recents. Change sort order. Filtered by type. Hide screenshot. Change close.
Okay,
Close.
anyway.
Live photo. Date. December 8th.
Okay, so I'm going to try to get past these November 28th ones real quick and just see if there's anything else I want to show you. So I can find one with the dog that
November 28th.
we can see.
Photo. Date. November 16th, 2024.
And if not, that's okay.
Time. 6:05 p.m. More content available. A screenshot of a photo. Date. November 15th, 2024.
Oh, and I think this was something
22 p.m.
Well,
shared. Saved. More content available. A screenshot of a web page with text and images. Pressed 1. Guaranteed 4.
Okay, somebody
GM vehicles. Video,
shared that with us.
Video, photo, date,
So that's not
November 10th, 2024. Time, 10:39 p.m. More content available. A black surface with nothing on it.
Now, I'll tell you what we could do.
Close.
We can get out of this and try to find...
Library. Button. Recent days. Button. People and pets. Pin collections. Memories. Albums. Featured photo trips. Button. Shared albums. Button.
Well, that's shared albums.
Media types. Utilities.
Okay.
Wallpaper. Heading not wallpaper suggestions.
I was thinking about looking for shared photos, but
heading, albums. Button. September 20. Gatlinburg.
I do want to show you something else too.
Albums. Button. Featured
Maybe.
photos,
Well, I'll tell you what I could
button,
look under.
Trips. Shared media
I
types,
could look under
trip,
people and pets
pin collection, people
and see
pet,
if
Matthew button, baby Jessica pin modify favorites map mod pin button Jessica baby button Matt Larissa Matthew and Carson button people and pets button heading groups.
see if I can find Chica this way.
Math button button baby Chica button Chica back.
See what it has with her.
Photo date July 8th, 2023. Time 9:12 p.m. Actions available. More content available. A dog sitting on a bed.
Okay, if we can detect the
Video.
dog.
Photo, delete, edit, info, favorite, share, photo, more, personal library.
But I think you still have to hit
share,
info.
favorite, info,
And then
info,
let's see if it'll
button,
identify.
edit, delete, info, head, close, add a caption, look up Yorkshire Terrier, button.
Yep, there it is. Praise God. That one identified.
Card about Yorkshire Terrier found.
See, it knows that she's a Yorkie. So if I double tap on that.
Lookup finds results about the content of. You can adjust. Continue.
Continue. All right, here we go.
Yorkshire Siri knowledge. Yorkshire Terrier, dog breed, Wikipedia, button. Australian Silky Terrier, similar web images.
So we can, what we have here.
Result, Siri knowledge.
Is there anything
Siri,
I can...
Yorkshire Terrier, dog breed, Wikipedia.
I can double tap on that and get the details about the Yorkshire Terrier on Wikipedia.
Results, heading, results, Siri knowledge.
I can do...
Australian Silky, similar web images.
Web images of Yorkies.
Image, if the results are incomplete, image.
And of course, if the results are incomplete, it tells us.
Inaccurate, or otherwise an issue, you can report an issue.
So you can do that too. But see, it has the Yorkshire Terrier, and I can view on Wikipedia any of that stuff.
Yorkshire Terrier,
so,
dog breed, Wikipedia, button, Siri knowledge.
Let's go ahead and close that.
Results.
But that's really cool.
Results.
As I said, you can do that for pets, for food, for laundry symbols. Okay.
Close button.
Now,
photo, date.
Let's very quickly talk about these memories.
Photo, Chica.
Let me get out of this.
Zoom, video, close, map with near shut aperture, expo, focal length, ISO 300 photos. Photo, choose, photo, share, favorite, info, edit, delete, info, close, button, video, delete, info,
close
favorite,
this.
share, photo, more, personal, July, Earls, back, button, photo, date, live photo, date, live photo, 10 items, photo, Chica, more,
Go
select,
back
search,
here.
back, button, back.
And one more time we have to go back,
Video.
I think.
Photo, Larissa, sort, people, Matthew, map, shows, photos,
Yeah.
Photos.
There we go. All right, so if I look at memories.
Photo, recent days, people, pin memories, Gatlinburg, button, September 27th, albums, button,
Okay.
September,
It will,
September, albums, button,
if I want to see all of them, I have to
memories,
double tap
button.
on memories.
Gatlinburg, September 20th.
Now.
Created, switched, favorites, all, memories, show sidebar, photos.
Then there's a back button. All right, let's look here.
Created, switch, Gatlin, September, Jessica, baby Carson, and me, button, Walt Disney World, button, Carson, Rehoboth Beach, button.
See, there are memories from Rehoboth Beach, Walt Disney World.
August 20, exploring Hershey.
Hershey, different dates.
Trips to Rehoboth Beach.
Okay.
September.
These are all memories. I'm not going to play them because if I do, what'll happen is it's going to play a song from my library, and then if we upload this, we'll get a copyright issue, perhaps, because it's playing a song, right? So we won't chance that. But if you do double tap on these, it will play the memory, and it'll play music, and you can change the music if you don't agree with its selection, you know, or what have you. And I also want to say,
Photos, back button.
back in the library,
Photos,
if we go,
heading not found. Search, note library, adult.
if we go up
Screen
here to this select
photo,
button,
search, select button.
and we,
Select toggle
let's
side.
say we select a few photos.
Video, live photo, video,
There's a live photo.
photo.
You can select videos too, but let's do photos.
Date, photo, date, selected.
See, I've selected 3 photos.
Date, March 12th.
Now at the bottom of the screen,
Toolbar, more, button.
you have more,
Delete.
you have
button.
delete,
3 photos selected.
right?
Share, button.
You have share.
Vertical
So
tool, 3
if
photos,
if I go to more,
button.
watch this.
Copy, favored, duplicate, hide, show in all photos, play as slideshow.
See,
button.
you can create a slideshow right from there. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to create a memory with music and everything, and it's really awesome. But that's how you do that. You just say create slideshow, or play as slideshow, rather.
Move to shared library. Adjust date and time. Adjust dismiss
So we're going to
context
dismiss
menu.
that, and I'm going to also
Toggle sidebar.
cancel
Library. Cancel button.
at the top there.
Toggle sidebar.
Because I don't actually want to keep those selected. Now we can
close button.
Close at the bottom.
Library button.
And that is kind of a little bit of a tour of our Photos app. Now, I very quickly I want to talk about, before we go to questions and before we go to the other instructors, I want to talk about the camera briefly, and I want to talk about Photobooth. These are both very fun. I want to mention a couple of modes on the camera, and I've got my other iPad here. It's actually charging, but I'll turn it up and you should still be able to hear it. Praise God, 2 iPads, and what I'll do is open the camera app on page 1 here.
Double tap to open home camera. Double camera. Take picture button.
It puts us helpfully on the take picture button already. Remember, I'm not doing this on the same device because of being in Zoom. Let's swipe to the left and see what else there is.
Camera chooser, back facing button.
So that's where you're going to
switches between cameras.
Yep, that's where you're going to toggle between the back and the front facing camera. That's always very important to check before you ever even get started.
Personal library button.
Where's the photo
Switch
going?
between libraries.
See, so you can actually determine when you take the photo where it's going to go.
Timer off button.
So you can set a timer
Switch
if you
between timer durations.
You know, especially if you want to do selfies and stuff. Let's see where the choices are here.
Timer 3 seconds. Timer 10 seconds. Timer off.
Okay.
Live photo on button.
Remember, I told you you could toggle that if you want a live photo or not.
Viewfinder. Camera chooser. Back facing.
Going back to the right now.
Take picture button.
Okay.
Photo and video viewer button.
That's how you view what you've taken then.
0 people. Camera mode. Photo. Adjustable.
And then that's
Swipe
where
upward.
you swipe up or down. The camera mode. It's on photo right now. Let's go up first.
Square. Pano.
So panorama or square. Panorama is actually like a video, but let's go down.
Square. Photo.
Keep going.
Video.
There's your regular video camera.
SLO.
Slow-mo. You can take a slow-mo.
Time lapse.
Time lapse.
Time lapse.
And that's it. Now, depending on your device, you may have more choices than that. Let's talk about time lapse.
SLO. Video. Photo.
So time lapse is kind of the exact opposite of slow motion. What time lapse does is it takes a very, very slow event and then speeds it up to a rapid view of that. So, for example, if maybe you were taking the picture of a flower opening up in the morning, that would be a slow process, or something growing, or something like that. Very, very slow process, and it's going to then speed it up for you. You can take time-lapse photos up to a total of, I think, 30 hours, but you'd have to have your iPad plugged in for something that long, because iPads get 10 hours on the battery. The other thing is, of course, storage space could be a constraint if you go too much, but you see the idea behind a time-lapse. They're really, really cool. A lot of people talk about using them in like science experiments and things of that nature. Now, I'm just going to switch. I'm back in the regular photo mode, and I'm just going to switch to the front camera, and you'll see that it...
Photo and video. Take camera chooser. Back facing. Camera chooser. Front facing.
Okay. Now.
Take picture button. One face near top edge. Tilt right. Level. One face centered.
And I
Photo. Take
took
picture.
a picture.
Button.
Let's go to the photo.
Camera mode. Photo and video viewer. Near
Video
back.
viewer?
But live photo. Button. Today. 323. Personal library. All photos. More. But photo chooser. Share. Favored. Info. But edit. Delete. Live photo. Time. 3:23 p.m.
Okay, see, that's what I just took.
Live
So
edit,
you
fave,
can
share, photo chooser,
you can
more,
view the
but
ones
all
that you
photos,
just took.
Personal library.
And let's see,
Today,
it says it was
live
3.
Photo,
Yeah, that was right.
button, pop-up
And there's
button.
that live photo
Live
option
photo,
again, because
time,
remember, I went ahead and took a live
3:23
photo, but I didn't say
A bearded
anything.
person wearing a white shirt and sitting in front of a window, maybe Matthew.
And that one, the image description's already working well. It said a bearded person sitting in front, in front of a window, white shirt, and it even knew who I was. It said maybe Matthew, and it's correct about that. So that's the
Back button. Take picture.
That's
button.
the camera. And then I'm going to very quickly open Photobooth just to show you what it is.
Page 1, page
in case
2.
you don't know.
Contact, font, voice, measure, trans, health, Photobooth.
Okay,
Double
Photobooth.
tap to open. Photobooth.
Swipe right.
X-ray.
Actually, swipe left first.
X-ray. Light tunnel. Stretch. Mirror. Normal. Twirl. Thermal camera. Kaleidoscope. Squeeze. Squeeze.
So these are effects that you can put on here. So let's do kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope. Toolbar. Take picture. Filters.
Now I have
camera
to,
chooser. Front facing.
It's already front facing.
Switches. Front facing toolbar. Front facing camera view.
Okay.
Toolbar. Filters. Take picture.
Filters.
None. Button.
Okay, what filters can I put?
Squeeze.
Oh, it's these same ones. I thought that I picked.
Toolbar.
Maybe it actually is on there, but it's just not saying it. So, and it took a picture.
Camera,
and now what we
photo
can,
one. Image.
there's
A person wearing a white shirt and a white tie.
Well, I don't know why it thinks I have a white tie. But that really does complete the Photobooth app, and this really does complete our demonstrations today. I would just say, we could really have a discussion about perfecting our use of the camera, especially as folks who are blind or visually impaired. But quite honestly, that really is going to come down to just practice. I mean, they do make things like some types of scanners, stands. I'm thinking about using it to scan, because you can scan images and so forth into your iPad and scan documents and so on to read with apps like Prismo and so on. We'll talk more about that later. But there are stands to help you kind of stabilize and level the device, and you can use features like Center Stage in apps like FaceTime and Zoom and so on to keep yourself in the camera view. But at the end of the day, it really does come down to muscle memory. Now, there is also a code scanner you can add to Control Center if it's not already in there, and if you want to scan a QR code on a product or something like that to be taken to a website or add a contact or what have you, all you got to do then is open Control Center and tap on the code scanner, and it'll get everything ready, and then you can just hold the iPad up to whatever code you want to scan, and that's how that works.
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Have an additional comment or feedback? Email us info@ttjtech.biz or info@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. Or check out our websites for additional resources. That's ttjtech.biz or stiritup.com. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter when you're there. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming announcements or events. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and see you next time.